Well, let's go ahead and get started, class. Good morning, everybody. Okay, so today we're going to go over how do we represent sets on Venn diagram, and then we're going to touch up on probability. Okay? Right, I'm going to extend this week of March 22nd. I'm going to give you an extra few days, so we might not be able to finish the whole thing because I don't want to really rush it. All right, first of all, let's go ahead and review what we learned on Monday. When we say, what do we mean by set A union B? That means all the elements in A and B, but you don't repeat the same one, right? If I tell you what is A intersection B, that means what's common between them. And then we learn complement of a set A prime. You cannot do A prime unless you're given the universal set U. So A prime will be what? Everything, every element except A. Okay, you all recall this from Monday's lecture? Everybody okay? Yes?
Yes.
So what we're going to learn today, how do we represent all of these in a Venn diagram set? Okay? So if you have a pen and a pencil would be great. If not, if you have colored pencils is all right, but if not, don't worry about it. I'll show you an easy way. So here's the question. Represent, we're going to take it slowly, class. In Venn diagram means those circles. Okay? Number one, I'm going to give you okay. The big rectangle is your universal set U. Set A is everything in circle A. Set B is everything in circle B. U, everything, A, B, and every single thing in the rectangle is U. That's universal set. So if I ask you, for example, shade for me A prime. Where is A prime? A prime means what? Everything except A, right? So if this is A prime is going to be all the elements except A. So I shade everything except A. And I'm done. So everything that's shaded in red is a solution for A prime. Means all the elements in red will be A prime. Okay, how we doing? Are we good?
Yes.
Okay. So what if I want to do this in a Venn diagram? Remember, the big rectangle is a set U universal set. If I ask you, show me A union B on the Venn diagram, what does that mean? What does A union B means? All the elements in A and B, correct? So A union B will be what? Everything in A and B, all of it. That's it. So how we're doing? Because union means put them all together. So the shaded part will be the solution in a Venn diagram for A union B. Are we good?
So when we say A union B, we're gonna shade A plus B circles.
That's correct. Because union means put all the elements together. Think of A as have number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. B is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. A union B means what? All of them together. That's why you shade all of them. You shade all of them means you are putting all the elements together. So the circle represents whatever is in A. I didn't tell you what's in A, but it doesn't matter because A union B means everything together. Are we good? Are we good?
Yes.
Yes.
And first,
So
first one,
what? Go ahead.
yeah, first diagram which you draw, it was only union.
That's correct.
And
Yeah. I'm going to show you all the parts before I start explaining the hard questions, okay? All right. If I ask you, show me where is A intersection B here? U upside down means what's common between A and B. So what do you think? Which part do you think is the answer is going to be here? Where is the part on this Venn diagram where A and B are common? Don't you think it's this part right here? Right? That's it. Right? Isn't this the part where A and B have elements in common?
yes,
Okay. Does anybody have any question on that? So whenever you do your homework, anything about this representing the sets in Venn diagram, it's going to be multiple choice. It's not going to be like you don't have to shade. So what you need to do is you get a scratch paper and do the problem. And after you shade it, and then you look at your answer and then the multiple choice and you click on the correct one. Okay? All right, let's do another one. Let's make it a little bit harder here. Well, how do I represent the Venn diagram for these sets? Let's say I'm going to give you here. Set A, set B. Okay, let's make it a little bit harder here. I want A union B intersection A prime. Pay attention, class. This is very important. So don't copy. Okay. First thing I got to do here is what? Do the parentheses. Where is A union B? So I'm going to shade both A and B. Okay. Do you agree this is A union B right here? I'm done with it. Do you agree? Waiting for an answer. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay. Then I'm going to use A. I want to draw shade A prime. What does A prime mean? Everything except A. This is A. So A prime is everything outside of A because everything except A. So I'm going to shade outside A. Got it? Are we good? Isn't that what A prime means? Yes or no?
Yes.
What's the sign between them here? Who can tell me what that sign is?
The middle?
What is it? U upside down. What do we call that sign?
Is it the overlapping?
Exactly. That's intersection. Intersection means what? What's common between those shaped parts? U upside down intersection. So what's common is going to be what? Wherever the two colors overlap, where do you see the blue and the red on top of each other? That will be your answer. So the only place where I see the blue and red are on top is right here, class. Right here. Why? Because the common means when the two colors are on top. So the answer is going to be just this part right here. So what did I do? I did this by itself and this by itself. If it's intersection, I look for the what? Where the two colors overlap. If this was union, then I will take all the colors. So my answer is going to be this region right here. Watch me. Right here. That's the answer. Okay? All right. Who has a question about this problem?
What did you write down on the top?
Answer.
Answer. Okay.
Okay. Let's try another one. Okay. Okay. If you follow what I tell you, class, you're not going to have any problem doing the homework. If you're going to use Mastering Lab, boy, you're going to be confused big time because they're going to use weird symbols for you. Okay? All right, here we go. Here's another one. Set A, set B. So I need A intersection B, union B prime. So the question is, can you show me the shaded part for this particular set? Okay. First thing I gotta do, I gotta use the parentheses. Where is A intersection B? Do you agree this is it right here? Does everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. Then I'll do B prime. What do you mean by B prime? Everything except B. This is B. B prime is everything except B. So I did this, I did that. What's the sign between them here? Who can tell me?
Interception.
Oh, come on. Intersection. Intersection is you upside down.
Union. Union.
Union. Okay. What does union mean? Come on, class. You guys are smart. What does union mean? What do I do to both?
Go up then.
All of them. So you know what the answer is going to be? Every part that is shaded, whether it's overlap or not. So the answer is going to be everything except the white part. If it was intersection, then I'll look for the overlap. But since this is union, means everything that you shaded will be an answer. Means what? Everything will be the answer except this crazy white part right here. And I'm done. So union, you take the answer of all the shaded part. If this was intersection, you only take the part where the two colors overlap. You want to write it down? Why don't you write it on your notes, class? Everybody, write it down. I'm gonna read it to you slowly. For union, the solution will be all the shaded parts. For union, the solution will be all the shaded parts. For the union, the solution will be all the shaded parts. We're good? For intersection, means you upside down. The solution will be only the overlap. For intersection, the solution will be only the overlap. Why? Because intersection means what's common. Did you write it down, class?
Oh.
Are we good so far?
Could you please repeat again?
From the beginning or just the second part?
Second part.
Okay, for the intersection, you only take the overlap part. Or for the intersection, the solution is the overlap part. Did you get it?
Yes.
All right. Okay, let's try another one. So let's say I have just give me a second. I didn't see I'm teaching class. I'll call you back in a minute. This is A, and this is B. Okay. Now I want to find B prime union E. Oh, sorry. Union A. My. All right. So I got to do this by itself, and then union means everything that's shaded. Okay. So what is B prime? This is B. So everything except B is B prime. Are we good how I got B prime? Don't wait till the very end says I don't get any of that. We're going to take it slowly. Is everybody okay with that?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Now I got to do A. What is A? Everything inside A. What is this symbol, class? Who can tell me?
Union.
What do you do when you have union? What would be the answer?
Take all of them.
Exactly. Everything that is shaded will be the answer, whether they overlap or not. Everything except this white one. So on the homework, you draw it the way I showed you, and then you look at your answer, and then you look at the choices A, B, C, D. Which one looks like the shaded? Remember, the shaded part is the solution. Okay? And then that's how you get the answer right. Are we good? Okay. Let me give you something similar to your homework. This one I copied it from your homework, so you guys don't steal it. I'm looking for B prime union A intersection. That is one of your homework questions. We're good? All right. So let's do the parentheses first. Let's do this one here. A intersection B. Do you agree this is it, right?
Yes.
Right. Now I got to do this one. So how do I do B prime? I circle my B, correct? B prime is going to be everything outside B. So I'm going to use a different color. All right, who can tell me what this symbol means? What type am I looking for here?
That's the union.
What is it again? Is it all the shaded parts or only the overlap?
All the shaded parts.
Exact. Because of the union. Got it? Is it getting easier, class?
When you say overlap, which part is overlap?
Here, there's no overlap here. There is no red and blue on top of each other on this one. So if this one, it was a question, you said the answer, no solution. Or just basically a blank. Overlap means two colors are on top of each other. You only do that intersection. Does that
So-
answer your question?
So
Go
this diagram doesn't have solution, right?
No, it has. It's union, not intersection. The solution, everything, red or blue. All of it is a solution except the white part right here. Because it's union, not intersection. Yeah, it has a solution. All of it is a solution except this white part of B. That's not an answer. Because remember, union means you put all of them together. Right? That's what union is. Okay, does that answer your question?
Yes, but did you draw a diagram where wasn't solution?
Okay. All right, that's easy. Where do you see red and blue on top of each other? Do you see any place where red and blue on top of each other?
No.
That's no solution. So what do you do in this case? The answer is blank. Blank means there is no shaded part. No answer. Because when you shade, the shade part is an answer. Here, nothing is shaded means that's no solution. Okay, does that answer your question?
Yes, so you didn't draw no solution diagram, right?
No solution diagram means, what does no solution mean? The shade part is an answer. When you show me something not shaded means I don't have an answer. We're good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let me show you another one similar to your homework. Well, I'm going to let you try it. Okay, normally I don't let this class try it, but this looks like, I don't know, I have no idea whether, if you know, this is virtual class. I have no idea if I was showing you person to person, then this is D and this is G. This is similar to your homework. And don't forget, U is what? All the rectangle. That's the universal set. I want you to show me to shade U prime union G prime. Go for it. And then when everybody's done, I will show you the answer. Are we good? Shall you see? Are you answer or you need more time?
No, I am good.
Okay, me too. That makes both of us. sorry, this is, oh my God, this is D prime. My bad, class. Go ahead and do it again. I meant to write D prime, I put G prime. Go ahead and redo it again. I meant to write D prime union G prime. I wrote down. Okay? Sorry about that. I just messed up in writing. Go ahead and do it again. But I guess you guys know what to do here. D prime is everything except D. G prime is everything except G. This is G. Right? So, what is this symbol here? Union. What does that mean? Everything that's shaded is the answer. It's going to be everything except this part right here. And you're done. So, how we're doing? Union means you take all the shaded part. Okay, are we good?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, let me show you one more and then we're going to go to probability, all right? Okay. So I'm giving you now examples similar to your homework so you guys don't struggle. Here's you right here. Everything right there. I have three sets. A, B, C. I'm going to do it for you, all right, class? That will be the last example, then I'll go to teach you probability. I want to find B intersection C prime union A. All right. So first of all, I got to do the parentheses. B. Where is B? This is B. C prime. What is C prime? Everything except C. This is C. Correct? So what's the symbol between them? Intersection. So what's the intersection of B intersection C prime? Is whatever the two colors are on top of each other. Where do you see the two colors on each other? Right here. Watch me. This is the only part where the blue and red are on top of each other right here. Do you agree?
Yes.
Very good. Now I need to do A. What is A? Let me put it in red. A is this set right here. What's the symbol between them? Union. Union means I gotta put the last two answers together. So the answer is gonna be watch my this and this. So the answer for the final answer is gonna be all of A and only this part of B right here. Because union means I gotta put both answers together. So it'll be this and this part of B, and I'm done. Okay?
Can you repeat the answer again?
Sure. I did itself as C prime by itself. And what's common means I got the shaded part. The shaded part, I mean, where they overlap. This is where they overlap right here. Are you okay, young lady, with that? For this answer?
Yes.
Then I need A. A is all of this. But what's the symbol between these two sets? Union. What does union mean? I got to put both answers together, the A and the result I just get. So the answer is going to be all of A plus what? The result I just got from what? B intersection C prime. So here's my answer. Watch me one more time. That will be my final answer. Okay? Because union means put the results of the two sets that you just found. Okay?
So in this case, part of B, you didn't take it, right? Whole A and then part of B.
That's correct. That's correct. Very good. Exactly. And this part of B I'm talking about that I'm going to keep. Because, which is this one right here. Okay? All right, guys. Now let's go ahead and move on. Now not gonna teach you anything about probability. Now let's go to the easy part. All right? So, probability. All right. You cannot really understand probability unless you do something we call sample space. And remember, I'm going to extend this assignment because I don't want to really rush probability, okay? All right. So what is sample space? Sample space means all possible outcomes. Every single thing you can think of. For example, let's say you roll a die. Does everybody know what a die is? Like the dice?
Yes.
What would be my sample space? Sample space means every single thing I might expect to get from rolling the die. So the sample space is going to be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. That's called a sample space. Means everything you might expect to get when you roll the die. Why is that important? If I ask you, for what's the probability of rolling the number 5? How many 5s do you see over here?
1.
You divide by always what? The sample space. How many sample spaces do you have here?
6.
And that's the answer. So when you put the sample space, it'll be easier. If I tell you what's the probability of rolling 1 or 4? How many 1s and how many 4s do you have here?
1 and 1 4.
Do you agree there's 2 of them? Right? Right? Just 1 and 1 4, right?
Yes.
Do you agree? You divide by the sample space. What's the total sample space? 6. But of course, in a fraction, you have to reduce it. You divide by 2. The answer is 1 out of 3. So it's very important to understand the sample space. I think you'll understand sample space better when I give you this example. Let's say,
Can you leave the last part?
sure,
Yes, please. And can you please scoop the camera a little bit? Thank you.
can you see how many 1s and how many 4s are there in a die? 1 1 and 1 4, right? Correct? The die has numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, correct?
Yes.
1 1 and 1 4. That's 2 of them. Divided by all the sample space. How many total numbers are you expect when you roll the die?
6.
And then, of course, they're both an even number. You cannot leave the answer 2 over 6. You reduce it by size by 2. Okay? Okay. Here's what makes you understand probability better. Let's say you flip the coin twice. What do you think will be the sample space here?
Be 12.
I might get heads and then tails, or what? Heads and then heads, right? So I'm done with everything that starts with heads. Or I might get what? Tails, then heads. Or I might get both tails. Can you think if you flip the coin twice at home here and you tally what you got? Is there a way that you can get two flips different than what I have for you here? I might get the first flip to be heads, the second flip to be tails. Or I might get both flips to be heads. Or I might get the first flip to be tails, then the second flip will be heads. Or I might get both of them tails. Can you think of anything you might get if you flip the coin twice? Can you think of any order that I did not put over here?
No.
So that means that's my total sample space. That's called my sample space. Means every single thing I'm going to expect. Why is that important? Let's say I ask you, what's the probability of getting all tails? How many of these sample spaces you have all tails?
That's it.
1.
One. Over, what is the total sample space?
4.
4.
Exactly. So here's something your books don't give you. What do we mean by 1/4? Listen careful, class, because people don't really understand fractions well. It means if I flip the coin twice, 4 times, one of those 4 times I'm going to get all tails. So the denominator gives you how many times you do the experiment. The numerator means how many times you're going to get what you want. So the denominator is total tries. Unfortunately, not a single book explained that to you. That's the total tries you do, total experiments. And the numerator is what? How many times you get what you want. For example, if the answer is 1 out of 8, what does that mean? I got to flip the coin twice, 8 times. One of those 8 times I'll get. Okay? Because you're not going to do math just like for the heck of it. You really need to understand what the fraction means. Are we good? Are we good, class?
Can you repeat again? So you say total example, right?
Total, no. Total experiment.
Thank you.
Like, for example, let's say you flip the coin once. What's the chance of getting heads? 1 out of 2, right? Right? What does that mean? I mean, if I flip the coin twice, one of them, I'm going to get heads. So the denominator is how many times you're going to do the experiment. The numerator is how many times you're going to get what you want. So if I want heads, I'm going to flip it twice, then I will get 1 head. Do you understand it now?
Yes, thank you.
All right, why don't you guys copy this here, and then I will show you here a real example of it, because you really need to understand probability what. So go ahead and copy it, and then we'll go from there in just a second, okay? Okay, can I erase it now?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so here's some examples. Let me first of all give you the formulas here. All right, This is very important formula. Tells you this, probability of A union B. I will tell you what it stands for. Equals probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of what's common between A and B. So go ahead and copy this formula and I'll show you what it means in a minute. This is probability of A or B. Union means or. Okay, go ahead and copy this formula and I'll explain that to you in just a minute. Okay, here's an example. Do you guys know what's in a deck of cards? Let's say you have a well shuffled deck of cards. Okay, it has 52 cards, no jokers. If I ask you, what is the probability of getting an ace or 4? Okay, so it means if I get ace, I'll win. If I get 4, I win. But what is the chance of getting either? Okay, so according to this formula, it'll be what? It'll be the probability of getting an ace plus probability of getting a 4 minus what's common between what? The ace and 4. Okay, how do you find the probability of getting an ace? How many aces are there in a deck of cards? 4 out of 52. How many 4s are there in a deck of cards? 4 out of 52. Minus. Is there anything common between ace and 4? No, they're different cards. So this would be 0. So now all I gotta do is just add these two fractions. How do I add fractions? If they have the same denominator, I just add the numerators. 4 plus 4 is 8. And now what are you gonna do? 8 over 52, you gotta reduce it, right? If I divide by 2, I get 4 over 26. They're still even. I divide by 2, and I get 2 over 13. So my answer is 2 over 13. So what do we mean by what's common between A and B? Pay attention, class, so you understand it. Let's say you have a face card. What are the face cards? The jack, the queens, and the kings. And let's say you have spades. Is there anything common between the spades and the face cards? The answer is yes, because you have what? One jack, that's a spade, one queen, that's a spade, and one king, that's a spade. So 3 cards are spades and face cards. Then I'll have something in common. But the aces and the 4s has absolutely nothing in common. That's why you put a 0. Okay? All right. Go ahead and copy it and see if you have any question. Okay? All right. Let me give you an example where you use this form.
Question. From where
Yes.
we got 4?
Because you have 4 of each kind. In a deck of cards, 4 aces, 4 twos, 4 threes, 4 fours. Have you ever played cards?
No.
You need to start learning how to gamble. No, I'm just joking with you. Don't gamble. I'm just a joke. Why don't you go to Google and click cards, playing cards, and click on images, and then you'll see what's in the deck of cards. You're going to see that 4 on each type. So I'm going to give you now an example that doesn't, since how many of you don't know anything about the cards besides this young lady? Okay, now my next example, I'm not going to give you the cards. Let me give you one without the cards. Okay? All right. So let's say I have this example. Let's say you have at U of H, University of Houston, you have this chart here. Juniors, you have 500. Seniors, 300. The one that are considered both juniors and seniors are 100. Question is, what is the probability that if you find a student at U of H, he's either what? A junior or a senior? Maybe that's probably better for you. Okay? So according to this formula, remember the word or. It'll be the probability that it's a junior. I'm going to use J plus probability that it's a senior minus probability that are what? They're both junior and senior. So what is the probability that he's a junior? How many juniors do you have? 500. What is the sample space? Everybody is a sample space. You're going to add them all together. So your sample space will be everything. 500 plus 300. So that gives you what? 900. Plus, what's the probability that he's a senior? How many seniors do you have? 300. Over the sample space. What's the sample space? Everybody, 900. Minus. How many of them are, what's common between these two classes here? Means, what is the, how many of them are junior and seniors together? That's 100. Out of what? 900. Okay? Now to do the math here, the denominator is the same as 900. All I gotta do is just do the top numbers. 500 plus 300 is 800 minus 100 gives you 800, right? So the 800 minus 100 gives you 700. So how do I reduce these fractions? 2 zeros cancels 2 zeros, so my final answer is 7 over 9. Okay? How we're doing?
I have a question. So sample space is always all together, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Thank you.
Every single thing you can think of. Yeah. You can write down on the notes, sample space is the total. Okay? How we doing so far?
Good.
Okay. How many of you don't know about the cards? I want to give you one. How many besides? I know one lady doesn't know about the cards. What about the rest? How many of you know about the cards? How many of you don't know anything about what's in the deck of cards? Everybody else knows except just one lady?
Yeah, looks like only I don't know.
Okay, so have you, okay, all right, it's okay. So when you finish, just go to Google and look what's in it. But You're not gonna have homework on the deck of cards. They understand some people don't know about the card, but I want to give an example. But I will show you what I'm talking about. Okay. All right. So do you guys want to
Uh,
example?
Professor, question. When you give example about probability of cards, if you know probability of cards, do you know that you know exactly you're gonna win or you're gonna lose? If you really understand probability?
No, you can only increase your chances. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're playing poker, right? You know there are 4 aces in a deck of cards, right? And you see 3 aces already out, and you really need 1 ace. So what do? You need to fold. Says, I don't want to play anymore. I don't want to risk any more money. Why? Because there's only 1 ace left in the whole deck of cards. So it's going to be very hard for you to get that ace. But if I'm playing poker here and I don't see, and I need the number 2, card 2, so I can win. If I'm playing with 10 people, I don't see any 2s outside. That means the 2s haven't shown up yet. So the chance of getting the 2 is high. It doesn't mean I'm going to get it, but the chance is higher. Does that explain to you? Am I making sense?
Yes.
There are 4 aces in the deck of cards, and you need an ace to win. And you already saw 4 aces already outside. It'll be impossible for you to get the ace. So you know what? If you don't know probabilities, you're just wasting your money. Right?
I see what you mean.
Okay, good. Yeah, I would, I mean, let me tell you, gambling is not good. But if you want to do it for fun, you have to understand one thing. People who gamble, if I gamble, let's say, and of course I don't recommend it, if I get lucky and I win, the best way to do is take your money and leave. Because if you keep gambling, you're gonna lose everything. You understand? So some people tell you, oh, you know what? Oh, look what I won. I won $200. Okay, go home. Because if you stay gambling, you're gonna lose everything you got. Okay. So as I said again, I'm not telling you to gamble here. I would suggest you don't gamble. And then of course people when they tell you if they can gamble, guess what? I won $500. Yeah, but they're not gonna tell you how much they lost. Okay. All right. Okay, let's give you another example. I'm not going to give you the deck of cards example. Looks like you got it. All right. So let's say I have these people in Army. There are 5,000. Air Force, 4,000. Marine, 1,500. Let's say here's the table I'm going to have here. Okay.
Could you lift your camera up a little bit?
Is that good?
Yeah, thank you.
So let's say you are in the military here. What is the chance that a person in the military there that you have is from the Air Force? What do you think you would do? What if you meet a person, you're in the military there, and you're in the military yourself? What is the chance that person you face is in the Air Force? What do you think you would do here?
It's 4,000 over 10,500.
Very good. That's your sample space, everybody. Air Force means you only use the Air Force as a numerator. Look how I'm going to simplify this here. 2 zeros from the top cancels 2 zeros from the bottom. So I have 40 over 105 left. Are you with me? Now, any number that ends with 0 or 5 What do you think you can divide both of them by? Anybody remembers fractions? Any number that ends with 0 or 5, you can divide it by
5.
5. 40 over 5 is 8. 21 over 5 is 105 over 5, so the answer is 8 over 21. What if I ask you what's the probability that the person is from the Marine? Why don't you try it yourself? You ready?
Yes.
All right. Who can tell me what to do? I'm the student. You guys are the boss. What should be the numerator?
The 1500 over 10, 10,500.
Very good. Very good. Then what?
Then you
How do you
reduce.
simplify it? 2 zeros says goodbye. So I'm left 15 over 105. Did you leave the answer like that?
No.
So what did you do?
Divide 15 in both.
All right. Very good. So you're going to get 1 over 7, right? Right? Those of you who cannot get 1 over 7, look what you do here. Pay attention, class. Say, I'm going to divide it by 5. I get 3 over 21. But 3 and 21, I can divide both of them by 3. So that's why I gave you this problem. So if you put the answer on Mastering Lab 3 over 21, they're going to mark it wrong. Why? You want to be sure you simplify fractions to the maximum. So the final answer is 1 over 7. Got it? Okay. Find me the probability that is from the Army. Go for it, class. I got to be sure you guys know how to do the fraction. And then when you finish all that, you got to copy all of it. Go for it. Okay, ready? Okay, how many are in the army? 5,000. Total sample space, 10,500. 2 zeros cancels 2 zeros, so I'm left with 50 over 105. So they're both, let's slide over both, end with 0.5, so I divide by 5.
10 over 21.
Excellent. Can you reduce 10 and 21? No, you cannot divide it by 2 or 3 or 5, so you just leave it alone. What does it mean, 10 over 21? That means if I keep pointing out to people at the military service there, if I do the pointing 21 times, 10 of those 21 times, I'm going to be sure that that person is from the Army. Or let's say 10, let's make it 10 out of 20, which is half. It means I have 50% chance that I pick a person from the Army, which makes sense. Why? Because more people are from the Army. So the chance of you getting, picking the person from the Army is higher. Why? Because you have more in the Army than anywhere else. Got it, class? We're good?
Yeah.
Yes.
So when do we have our next test?
Next Wednesday.
Very good. So what does that mean? You need to do the review for what? Test 1, test 2, sorry, on Mastering Lab. So which means next Wednesday, this test starts at 8 a.m. all day Wednesday, all the way to Thursday. So we don't meet next Wednesday. A week from today, you will be taking the exam. Be sure you do the review so that way you know which formulas you need to write down on an index card. You need to know to have the right calculator. Okay? The exam will not include today's work. It will only include what we covered before. Okay, which is, I think, the interest and the linear programming, whatever, I don't remember, whatever, just, I don't want to just tell you what it is, but it'll be very similar to that review. We'll just change the numbers around. Are we good on that? So well, we will meet next Monday, but next Monday, I'm not going to review with you because you already have the review online, and I will finish up the probability. I will extend this homework and I'll add a few more just to be sure you get it right. Okay? All right, class.
Professor,
Go ahead. I'm listening. I'm not leaving. Go ahead.
is the exam on my lab?
Exact. All the exam will be my message.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, and then this posted review exam is all questions on the exam, right? All these review exam
Very good.
questions.
You review them too. Very good. Yeah. You're doing good, young lady. When I grow up, I want to be like you.
Yeah.
It's a joke. Okay? All right, you're doing good. Got it? Yes?
Yes.
All right. Make me proud. Do as much as you can on the homework. And remember, next Monday we'll meet. I'll finish the chapter on probability. And then Wednesday, you guys will be working on the exam. And Friday morning is when I'm going to start putting, a week from this Friday after you guys finish the test, I will post the grades on Canvas. And your goal is what? To check if I put the right grade or not. Are we in business?
Yes. Yes.
All right. You all have a good day, everybody. Go enjoy it.
Thank you.
You too. Thank you.